Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and thought I would sit down and do another video for you guys and gals. Let me get a sip of my water first. Get my beautiful radio voice going on. Let's talk about this. This is a topic I've had conversations with some clients with over the last week, because I do deal with a couple different demographics in terms of those who care about their physiques. For the record, I do still coach powerlifters. I still have some people who have meets coming this year. So that's come up, and I've had people say, do you not coach powerlifters anymore? Yes, no, I still coach powerlifters. I just don't actively go and scout them out. Okay, it's just not on my purview. But I usually deal with my dad bod transformations, which I've discussed, and then I've dealt with, and I've been dealing with this since day one, of 20-something guys who are upwardly mobile, who need a certain physique that they want to look good for girls, to get respect in business, things like that. And the physiques that are desirable there are closer to the Hollywood physiques. They don't care about looking like your Instagram people that you are seeing. In other words, if that physique cannot be maintained all the time, it's not useful to them. Okay, for most of you out there who are setting goals, they've been so led astray by all these people who use Photoshop, special lighting. They peak for pictures, you know, instead of just walking in, this is what you look like. I mean, for example, you guys see me train shirtless 4 days every week. There's no way to prepare for that. I'm going to look worse on some days. That's reality. And I'm a 47-year-old dude. So, context. Almost no one is staying shredded year-round. They're not. And if your goal is to look good out on the beach, your goal is to look good in a suit, for people who are seeking to be upwardly mobile. Because that's a lot of what I dealt with. I realized a lot more dealing with the dad bod guys. The way they look for business purposes matters. Okay? It matters in your career. It matters for commanding respect. It does. It's a different look, though, for the younger guys. Like, they're not necessarily looking to look as thick. I mean, realistically, almost all of my guys in their 20s who are either entrepreneurs, trying to be upwardly mobile in business, none of them want to be 200 pounds or 220. They just don't. And I mean, I'm going to show an example. I'll flip it in here for you guys. This transformation was finished 4 years ago. And I put his pictures up way back then. And people who realized it saw that he came in and commented, yeah, that's me. A guy named Chris, he was one of my clients from over 4 years ago. And it took us, I don't know, like 7, 8, 9 months to get to where he wanted to get. And then, of course, he's like, Coach, I don't need coaching anymore. I've reached all of my strength goals, and I now have the physique that I want. Okay? But here's the thing. He had said as he got closer to that physique there that he got compliments because he lived in LA. And so there were times when he was down at the beach because of where he lived along our coastline. He was taking over his family business, a younger guy, you know, early 20s. And he's like, I just need to look good. And as he got that physique, girls noticed, they hit on him at the beach. And that's what I'm trying to tell people. You don't have to have the internet version of a physique for the average person, the average woman, the average guy, whatever your persuasion is, I don't care, you know. But it's the same thing. That's literally the exact same thing. Whether you're trying to attract girls or you're trying to attract dudes, in that age bracket, the physiques they're looking at are the same. They're looking for kind of that beach body. They don't want to be massive. They don't want to be shredded. Like 13 to 15% body fat will do fine. And I think that's about where he was. He was 165 pounds, average height. And so, you know, what did it take for us to get him there? He was benching about 250 as his max, because we were maxing out. So he was maxing on his big lifts. He was benching right around 250, squatting around 350, pulling just over 400. Okay, we did that. We threw in extra shoulder work, had him on a conjugate type template. We threw in extra delt work, and then he dieted down. He kept his protein really high, cleaned his diet up, dieted down a little leaner to that. That is literally all it took. I put him on a powerlifting program, and we added laterals and delt work. Okay? Why? Because wider shoulders. Wider shoulders. If you're anything under 15% body fat, you've got a decent amount of muscle. And because he was reasonably strong, I mean, that's a good strength base for a guy in that age range. I mean, being like 165, totally respectable. He's benching more than 2 plates a side, squatting more than 3 plates a side, pulling more than 4 plates a side. He was lean, he was athletic, right? He did conditioning work. Really, that's what we did. We just did power training to get really strong at his basic lifts. Obviously, we did back work and stuff in there too, pull-ups, rows. And we just added extra shoulder work. And it got him where he wanted to. But by internet standards, you see the internet, people would say, oh, that guy doesn't even look like he lifts. But he had a decent strength base. And he looked good out on the beach. Girls liked it. People have lost sight of what is considered to be an impressive or nice physique to the average person. The internet has clouded people's minds. And realistically, every one of you, if you're honest, you would look at that after picture. And that was just a normal after picture. You just took it at the gym. Like, we didn't peak for it. If a guy looks like that 7 days a week, the average person, they're in the top 1% of the populace right there. Just in terms of their physique, they're in the top 1%. And that's reality. You don't have to look like a bodybuilder. You don't even have to look like a men's physique competitor for the average person to go, wow, he's in shape. For men and women both to go, yeah, that dude's got a nice body. He's got a nice physique. That's it. And it's really not that hard. And it really was just a case of, for him, getting his basic lifts up to respectable levels, throwing in some extra hypertrophy work in the right spots, cleaning his diet up, eating a lot of protein. That is literally all it took. Again, I gave him good coaching so that we optimized the process. But that's totally a realistic physique. Okay? That is something the average guy can do within 3 years, 2 to 3 years. Totally average Joe. You don't need great genetics. You don't need a bunch of gear. That can be done with good training and diet. And it's totally maintainable. Right? Totally maintainable. And he can continue to make gains from there over the years. But again, people forget, you're not going to be massive without stuff. You're just not. And anyone who's telling you that is lying to you. If you also want to be big, even natty, it's going to take a real long time. Okay? And you're still never going to be truly massive. But to be big by natty standards, you're probably looking at a 10 to 15 year investment. I'm not saying not to do it, but we got to be realistic. And the same thing on body fat. If you are under 15% body fat, as a healthy, fit male, you're already in the top 1% of the U.S. population. You just are. Just in terms of your fitness and your body. Again, reality. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.